What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new Football Manager 2016 experiments video. Now we are looking at a Football Manager favourite. He is a wonder kid. He is believed to be moving from Santos to Leicester City in the Premier League for a fee believed to be around £26 million. Who else is it going to be when I say Football Manager favourite? It is Gabriel Barbosa. We all know about this guy, the striker, the winger, whatever you want to say about him. He's 18 years of age, I think, at the start of the game. But honestly, age does not matter for this kid. He just bangs goals in. Anyway, in this series, we give the player 3 seasons at his new club to see how he would do, both personally and how he will affect his club. So in this case, how Gabriel Barbosa will affect Leicester City over these 3 seasons. If you enjoy this type of content, please be sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe. It is always much appreciated. But let's jump straight into the video. Okay, so as you can see on screen right now, we do have Gabriel Barbosa at Leicester City. 18 years of age, he'll be 19 in real life at the time of making this video, obviously, as this is FM16. He's valued at £18 million. The fee that's being rumoured is about 25, 26, so not too far off there, and especially in Football Manager, if someone's valued at 18 million, you probably end up paying about 40 million for them. It's crazy. So his attributes, obviously, you know, you've got ranges of his attributes just to kind of cover some of them, and he's on a £47,000 per week contract, which is going to keep him at the club for 5 seasons. So we're going to jump 1 season into the future to see how Gabriel Barbosa does for Leicester City in his first season in the BPL. Okay, so we are 1 season into the future, and as you can see, Gabriel Barbosa is now valued at £28.5 million. He's still on the same contract. Let's take a look at his stats for this season at Leicester City. So he made 31 appearances in the Premier League, which I thought maybe they'll just slowly introduce him, but no, throw him right in there. Why not? Because if you're a Football Manager fan, you know how good this guy is, but I didn't know if Leicester would. As you know, let's break them 31 appearances down more to the point. So 27 starts, which is a lot for someone that's 18 years of age, you know, in this game. And 4 appearances from the bench, 13 goals, so very, very good return there, especially for your first season in the Premier League. 3 assists, 2 player of the match performances, a 6.96 average match rate. Now, probably needs to be just a little bit higher. I always like my strikers to be just over 7, but you know, first season in the Premier League, give him his dues. He's actually done all right. You know, he's got a decent goal return, so I'll let him be. I'll let him off for this season, but this season only. Cup-wise, 3 starts, 2 appearances from the bench, but he didn't score in the Cup, he didn't assist in the Cup, and he didn't get a player of the performance in the Cup. He got a 6.53 average match rating, so not the best for him in terms of the Cup. Maybe he doesn't like it. Continental-wise, he likes playing on the continent. 8 appearances, all of which starts, 4 goals. So obviously this is the Champions League, which is making me think, did Leicester actually get quite far in the Champions League? 8 appearances would suggest maybe, actually I don't know, maybe that would probably suggest the first knockout rounds. We'll take a look at that in a bit more detail in a minute. But a 7.18 average match rating, which is the highest of all competitions for him. He actually made 1 international appearance. Now I'm not too sure if that would have been for the under 21s or whatever. We'll take a look at that as well. And a 6.0 average match rating for that single game. We'll take a look at injuries before we move on to anything else. So we got concussion in a match which kept him out for 7 days in March, but apart from that, nothing. You know, quite a clean injury-free player. Let's just go. Yes, so he made his international debut against Argentina. Would you believe it? So he's had his first international cap whilst being at Leicester. He'll be very, very pleased with that. When did he actually get it? We'll take a look. I can't actually... I don't like reading this too much, it hurts my eyes. You got it at some point this season, let's just leave it at that. So, Leicester City, we'll go to that. How did they do as a team? They done exactly how I thought in the Champions League. We'll come to that in a minute. In the league, they finished 8th, so not the heights of what they done, you know, last season winning the Premier League. They ended up being a whopping 28 points behind eventual winners Arsenal, but Arsenal are just completely overpowered in Football Manager. Leicester, 14 wins, 11 draws, 13 defeats, and they lost to all the big clubs, and then a few of the lesser clubs. Don't want to offend anyone, but you know, a few of the lesser clubs. Wonder if they actually beat any of the big clubs at all. Be interesting to see. I'll take a look at the Premier League in just a bit more detail in a minute. Champions League, they were knocked out in the first knockout round by Sevilla. Juventus went on to win that. Let's see how they actually done in the group stages, because it's going to be quite interesting. We'll take a look at the first knockout round actually. So, where are Leicester? They actually got knocked. Oh, they got knocked out 3-2 on aggregate, and they lost the home game. Jamie Vardy was sent off. Oh, hang on. What does it say? Oh, actually, yeah, they lost the away game, didn't they? 2-1. So Jamie Vardy got sent off, which is kind of typical Jamie Vardy, isn't it? But as for the groups, we'll take a look at the groups. I don't know what group they were in, so we'll go all groups. So they were actually in Group A. That's actually a tough group. Dortmund, well, actually, it's not too bad. Dortmund, Monaco, and Sporting. But you'd imagine Dortmund would be top. So in theory, it is actually a tough group. Dortmund actually coming third in the group. Leicester coming second, a point ahead of Dortmund, with a much, less superior goal difference. They didn't actually score that many, but they didn't concede many, really. What should we... that's why. They done the double over Sporting, whereas the other two teams didn't. Sporting actually took draws against them. And Monaco 1 point ahead of Leicester. Did they actually beat Leicester? They beat Leicester, oh wow, so they beat Leicester home and away, so that's kind of why. So Leicester are actually unbeaten against Dortmund and Sporting, which, yeah, that's actually quite impressive, to be fair. But obviously they crash out in the first knockout round anyway. FA Cup, they were knocked out in the third round, which obviously is the first round that they enter in by West Brom. Liverpool went on to win that tournament. They were knocked out in the semi-final, the Capital One Cup, by Everton, so they got quite far in that competition. Probably disappointed they didn't actually reach the final. Southampton went on to win that, and if you're looking at this, Southampton actually just outside the relegation places, so if they got to the final, they probably would have won it, and they obviously, like in real life, did not win the Community Shield. Manchester United beat them 3-1, unlike the 2-1 in real life. Go to the Premier League very, very quickly for a bit more detail on exactly how they've done. Where do I go? I want to go home form, see how they've done at home. So they actually didn't do that well at home in compared to where they finished. Away from home, pretty similar, so only 7th, so quite a strange season. Wherever they predicted, they actually finished where they were predicted, so completely fair enough. I can kind of agree with how they've done. I just want to go back to that 1 minute. See how they finished the season actually. So 8th as well. So it's quite strange. They just kind of stayed in 8th. They were happy to be 8th. I don't really know what happened, but that's how it seems to me. As for transfers, who did they bring in? So obviously that would be around £25 million added to the £17 million they spent. I don't believe that adds up to 17 million. It probably does. I'm just probably, not adding up right. But seems like the buy-in for the future at least. Actually, not really. They're just kind of bulking the squad up. So a few average-aged players and then a few younger players in there as well. And then one very experienced guy from FC Red Bull Salzburg. As for sales, no one to actually note. So they obviously kept hold of Jamie Vardy and Riyad Mahrez. I'm taking from that. Yeah, they did. As for goals, Gabriel Barbosa was only 2nd behind Jamie Vardy. Average match rating wise, he was 6th. So quite a decent season for such a young lad. We're going to jump one more season into the future to see how he does at his 2nd season at Leicester. Okay, so we are one more season into the future. As you can see, he is now valued at £32 million, age 20. So he's going up, and actually one thing I didn't actually notice straight away, he's going up in value, but he actually wants to leave to play for a bigger club, so we'll actually have to watch to see if he moves anywhere next season. He actually won the Olympic Games with Brazil, so he'll be very happy with that. We'll take a look at his stats. So 34 league appearances this season, a lot less goals. All starts, so 34 starts. He actually broke the little 7 average match rating barrier that I set him, so 7.02 average match rating in the league. 5 goals, 8 assists, 2 player of the match performances, which suggests to me he's not being played as a striker. He's probably playing out wide, which, if you do look at his overview page, it says he's better off as a striker, but he can play left and right wing. I'm going the wrong way there, aren't I? Cup football, so obviously Leicester didn't have any continental football, unlike the Champions League last time around. He made 5 starts and 2 appearances from the bench, which suggests maybe they actually got to the latter stages of a competition, or maybe they just got to like the quarters in both and had quite a lot of games to play. We'll take a look in a minute. He actually got 4 goals in that and a 7.07 average match rating, so just higher than what he got in the league. Take a look at the guy's injuries. So he actually picked up 2 injuries this time around, and he's currently injured. So he got concussion again. He likes getting knocked out. 7 days as well. Maybe he fakes it. No, he probably doesn't. But he got a concussion in October, right at the end of October. And he's currently nursing a sports hernia injury, 4 weeks, which he picked up about 4 weeks ago. So he's probably about to come back. He got that in training. Yeah, so 1 to 4 days he's got left out. So he obviously missed the very end of the Premier League season. And that's why, actually, that makes sense, because if he picked up, we'll go back to the injuries, if he picked up the concussion, then he would have missed the international break in November. And then this sports hernia injury, he probably missed like 3, maybe 4 games right at the end of the season. So that's why he didn't actually make all 38 appearances in the Premier League. We'll take a look at Leicester as a whole. So we'll go to senior squad. So I was actually right. They actually got quite far in one competition. Didn't so in the other, but we'll come to that in a minute. They actually finished 8th again. How many points did they get last season? They got 52 this season. I believe it may have been around the same as last season. Leicester, 53. So they got 1 point less this time around. So obviously be a bit disappointed with that. I thought they may have pushed on, but obviously not. Newcastle were the team above them. Stoke were actually above them, so the top 6 have actually been separated. Wow, Chelsea, that's why. Chelsea finishing in 11th place, so kind of like the season just gone, although probably not as, more dramatic in the game, not as dramatic in real life. Leicester were quite consistent. 13 wins, 13 draws, 12 defeats, and a +2 goal difference. They actually had quite a poor start and then just slowly started to pick themselves up the league towards the end of the season. So they probably finished quite strong. I'm not too sure where I was going to go there, but we'll go to stages. And nope, I'm going the wrong way again. Let's go back to stages and let's go to away records. We'll start off with the away, and I believe they're in 8th again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so 8th for the away record. For the home record, they were right down there, so they didn't actually have the best of home records. So again, pretty similar in terms of that to last season. We'll go back to, I don't know where I'm going here. Let's just click on Leicester. It's probably a lot easier. And then here we go. So FA Cup, they reached the semi-finals. They were knocked out by eventual winners Watford. It'd be interesting to see who they beat in the final. They actually beat Chelsea, so I was going to say maybe if they had a lesser team, then they probably would have won, but you never know. Against Chelsea, Leicester may have lost to them. And they were knocked out in the first round that they entered the Capital One Cup by MK Dons. West Ham went on to win that competition. So, disappointing tournament for them there, but they probably weren't expected to do anything by the board. You never really get set targets for the Capital One Cup. Let's just take a look at players. Who was the top scorer? So Jamie Vardy was top scorer. Riyad Mahrez actually higher than Gabriel Barbosa this time around. Gabriel obviously ended up finishing in 3rd. Take a look at the average match ratings. So he actually came down in 6th place. Christian Fuchs, whatever you want to say. He was 1st. Wes Morgan, Riyad Mahrez, Robert Huth, Damari Gray, and Gabriel himself. But Jamie Vardy was actually the top scorer, finishing quite significantly down on the others. As for Gabriel Barbosa, he's got 1 more season left to give him at Leicester City, but he wants to leave, so we'll have to monitor that. We're going to jump 1 more season into the future to see if he's still at Leicester, and if he is, how he does. Let's go and do that right now. Okay, so we have completed Gabriel Barbosa's 3-year cycle, and he stayed at Leicester. He is wanted by a club, and he still wants to actually leave, and that's well out in the public apparently. He's actually wanted by 2 clubs, Roma and Benfica, so the Portuguese league and the Italian league are calling for him. We'll take a look at his value, £36 million. He's not signed a new deal at all, but he's still got 2 years left to run on that. He's still only 21 years of age, so obviously still very young. One other thing, he scored his first international goal against Uruguay, but let's take a look at his stats more to the point. So this season, Premier League, 37 appearances, all starts. He only missed 1 game, maybe that was through injury. 1 goal, 1 assist, and a 6.93 average match rating. As for the Cup, 2 starts, 3 appearances from the bench, 4 goals, 1 player of the match performance, and a 7.50 average match rating, so much better there. International, he made 5 appearances, but they were all from the bench, and as I mentioned, he got his first goal, 6.68 average match rating there, so average match rating wise, not the highest this season for Gabriel Barbosa, but we'll take a look at injuries. So, he got a cold, in the middle of summer. Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one. It was in pre-season, 3 days he was out for, and he got concussion, so he loves this concussion, doesn't he, that keeps him out for 7 days. This time it was in training though. Maybe any little touch to his head, and he just says he's concussed. That was right in the Christmas period, so maybe that's where his one appearance was missed. 7th of December, that injury coming, so that's probably why he didn't start all 38 Premier League games. We shall take a look at Leicester City themselves. Wow, they are literally, I'm going to go and do it the proper way, but wow, they are literally consistent at doing this. They finished 8th again. So they finished 8th every single season. 53 points, 52 points, 52 points. It's just crazy. 15 wins, 7 draws, 16 defeats. It's far too many defeats, in my opinion anyway. I don't know about yours. And a negative 1 goal difference. They started quite well. They started in 3rd, then they dipped, and then they went up, and then they went down, and then they went up again. So it was a bit of an up and down season. They actually lost their last 3 games. So maybe they could have pushed on for West Ham. You never know, the last 3 games may have been the most difficult ones. As for the FA Cup, they were knocked out in the 5th round by Swansea City. Tottenham went on to win that. They were knocked out in the 4th round of the Capital One Cup by Hull City, so they actually made it 2 rounds further than last season where they were knocked out by MK Dons. Manchester United went on to win that competition. We'll just do as we usually do. We'll take a look at their home and away form. So home form, again, low. Away form, I'm guessing, high. Yeah, so exactly the same every single season. Maybe they don't like the pressure of playing at home in front of their fans. Last 5 games, I just want to take a look at this, because they did lose the last 3 games on the bounce. So, Newcastle away, Everton at home, who just finished below them, I noticed, and Manchester United away. So, to be fair, I don't know, actually, they're not the worst of fixtures. As I said, so they did actually lose at home to Everton, which was right underneath them in terms of league positioning. We'll go back to Leicester themselves, and we'll take a look at the transfers. Don't know if I'd done it last season. Did I take a look at Leicester's transfers? I don't think I did. I'll do that now for you. So this is kind of a season prior, and then we'll take a look at this season. They brought in some decent experience again. Branislav Ivanovic, Fabian Delph from Manchester City. They're the main 2 ones there to actually point out. Any outgoings of real note? Schlupp gone, but he's not really of real note. And that Mendy, who they've actually just brought in, who's been meant to be N'Golo Kante's replacement, he went to Stoke City for £2.3 million, so clearly not on Kante's level according to Football Manager at least. This season's transfer-wise, they actually made a lot more transfers, but they still only had quite a relatively low net spend of £5 million. Who were the outgoings? I'm guessing there was some clear big outgoings, considering there's £35 million worth. So Damari Gray left for Southampton. That's quite an interesting transfer. The kid's only young here. He's only 21 years of age. He seemed to have quite a decent season at Southampton. But Southampton are in the Championship, so bit of a strange move, that one. Gino Peruzzi, I believe that's how you say it. He's left for Chelsea in a deal worth £17.75 million. Kasper Schmeichel also going to Chelsea for less than £250,000. Mark Albrighton also making a move, but this time to West Brom for just under £6 million. Let's take a look at the incomings though. They're the ones that are of real importance to Leicester fans. Tom Ince, there's no one really to actually point out, to be honest. They're just kind of squad players. Kevin Rimmer, I believe that's how you say his name. I believe that W is actually said like a V. Josh Ball, I'm guessing he's just like a regen, yeah, so maybe one for the future there to keep your eye on, even though the series ends right now. So yeah, pretty much no real transfers to note. Let's take a look who was the top goal scorer. So it was actually Gabriel Barbosa, the first time he's actually had that to his name. Jamie Vardy usually gets it. Jamie Vardy also wanted, but he's wanted by Manchester City. Does he want to leave? No, he's actually happy at Leicester City. So as I said, Gabriel Barbosa is actually the highest scorer of the season for Leicester City. We'll take a look at his average match rating wise. He actually came down in, just highlight them, he was 8th. Where is Jamie Vardy? Again below him. There's a few players, you know, let's just mention a few. Danny Drinkwater, Riyad Mahrez, Wes Morgan, all above him. Robert Huth also still above him. Robert Huth probably getting on, yeah, 33 years of age. But Gabriel Barbosa is only 21. He's worth £36 million. He's had 3 decent years, in my opinion, at Leicester City. He does now want to move on. Probably should be scoring a few more goals, and he does when you're managing him himself. He's obviously one of the wonder kids in Football Manager. He's going to be excellent for Leicester if he joins them, in my opinion. That is all for this video. If you like this type of content, please be sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe on the video. Let me know any other players you want me to do while I still there. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, goodbye.